Hey, Tina Forsyth here. So I just got back, actually 2 o'clock in the morning. I got back a little late on my flights from my mastermind meeting in DC. I'm participating in David Nagel's mastermind program this year, which has really been awesome, and just had the pleasure of spending a couple of days together for our first mastermind meeting in Washington, D.C. There's a good 33, I think, of us in the room there together, and it was really great. It was awesome. But there's one thing I wanted to share, though, that I found really fascinating, because this actually came up from a few different people when I was talking to them, sharing with them about what an online business manager is and how an OBM can help their business and such. And it was really interesting because I had a few people come up to me and share something. They were talking about their own team members, their own experience with people that they've worked with, whether it's, virtual team members or offline regular world team members in other businesses and such that they've had. And the one thing that came up that people shared was, they said a pet peeve of theirs is that when people don't think, when people refuse to think on behalf of their business. It's actually really interesting. One guy was sharing with me how, in the past in his business, he's actually said to people on his team, support professionals and different players that were helping him in areas of his business, when he's actually said to them, hey, what's your opinion here? What's your thoughts here? And they literally wouldn't even tell him for whatever reason. Or, another business owner was sharing how, for her, she gets very frustrated when she's hired someone and that person sits there and waits for them to be told what to do, or they sit there and they're just not willing, they're just not speaking, they're not sharing, I think, is part of it. And it's actually interesting to me because I think there's a couple of things that are going on here when I hear about this, right? When I look at it from the perspective of the virtual support professional, be it as an online business manager or a web designer or a VA or whatever it is, I think there's a couple of things at play here for this. First and foremost, it seems like a lot of people, I've talked to a few people about this, and depending what background you come from, what your past experiences work-wise and otherwise, sometimes people just don't even think that business owners want to hear what they have to say. And I'm here to tell you today that is just simply not the truth. Business owners these days more so than ever, if you're providing support to them as an expert in whatever area that is, whatever you're doing for them, they want to hear what you have to say. They want to hear what you're thinking. They want to hear your expertise. They want to hear what you're bringing to the table. So to hold back on that is actually a disservice to them, right? But a lot of us think that, they don't want to hear what I have to say, or they don't want to hear my opinion. I had somebody explain it to me once in her past work experience, having been very focused as working as an executive assistant, and she's working now as an online business manager. But in her past life, she'd been working as an executive assistant and had gotten used to the fact that the people that she worked for, the executives that she worked for in that environment, did not want to hear what she had to say. That's just the way it was in that environment, and that's quite common in corporate environments. But the flip side is actually very true in this online business world. The virtual business, the small business world, the entrepreneurs that we work with, they really do want to hear what we have to say. And I think secondary to the other thing that's at play sometimes for some people is they don't want to take the responsibility of saying what's really on their mind. I'm not really sure how to explain this, but I've seen this occur a few times. If somebody said something about, oh, hey, what do you think of this? What are your thoughts regarding situation X? Or what do you think I should do here? What would you do in this situation? If you're asked that question and you find yourself with an idea in your mind, you find yourself with something to say, but you don't want to say it because of fear that if you did share it and it was wrong, or if you shared it and they did it and it didn't turn out, or whatever that is. And I say this quite honestly because I've been there myself. Like years ago, this was actually a pretty big deal for me. I have always been someone who's really great at having ideas and brainstorming and such, but to a certain point in time, I wasn't kind of willing to share them for that reason, because I was kind of afraid of like, oh, well, what if my idea is stupid? Or what if they don't like what I have to say? Or what if, what I say is great and they go with it and then it actually doesn't work for some reason? Is that going to fall on my shoulders? It's like all these things can come up for some of us, right? That can basically get in the way of sharing with our clients and actually being willing to think and share what it is that we're thinking about with our clients. So if that's something that happens to you, I kind of invite you to maybe even step aside from that a little bit and or just be willing, be brave, be confident, do whatever it is to maybe step out a bit and actually share something with your clients. Because I'm telling you, they are hungry to hear from you. They're hungry to hear what's going on in your mind. You've been hired for a very specific reason, and that's obvious. generally, depending on what you do, you might have been hired to build a website. You might be looking to be hired as an online business manager. I mean, if you're an online business manager, this is essential regardless. But, it doesn't matter what the role is. Your clients have hired you for something. They want to hear what you have to think. They want to hear your expertise. They want to hear what it is that you're bringing to the table. They want you to think on behalf of their business and not be shy in doing so. Until next time, it's Tina Forsyth. Take care.